We met another large crowd of overexcited individuals near the A104 C77 turnoff at Gilgil. As we slowly passed through the crowd, a young man noticed some coins in the compartment between my seat and Susan's seat. He asked Susan to hand him the cash. Susan then started rolling down the window to give him the coins. Within seconds, close to 1,000 hands simultaneously stretched towards the compartment, reaching out for the remaining cash. I drove a little faster as Susan tactfully shut the window. Nobody was hurt, but it was a close call with danger, an essential lesson on the don'ts when driving through a large group of people. The situation changed after we took the Gilgil turnoff and headed towards Nyahururu. We still saw many people milling around on the road near the main shopping centers, but it was nothing compared to what we had seen before. Also, it was evident that the novelty of the election results news had worn out, and people had already started retreating to their homes. We arrived at the Nyahururu Shamba at around 1 p.m. We were exhausted but glad to have arrived safely. The land on which we had planted potatoes several weeks earlier was now covered with a dark green cover of potato plants, with a few of them producing beautiful pink and white flowers. It was a wonderful sight to behold. The cows were grazing on the lush green fields, utterly oblivious to the political events unfolding in the country. It never ceased to amaze me how the cows would spend hours hunkered down, feeding on the grass, with only the occasional break to drink several pints of water. What a life! Just eating, drinking, eating some more, relaxing to ruminate, drinking again, then heading home to the cow sheds to sleep, and doing the same thing the next day, and the next day, ad infinitum. Some things in life are impossible to understand. The sheep in a different section of the field were congregated close together, equally busy munching grass, just like the cows, albeit their canines moved faster. A lamb was bleating loudly. Perhaps she had separated from her mother. We could hear the mother bleating even more loudly from a separate part of the field. And then, just like magic, all the crying stopped, and mother and child reunited. But a trip to the Shamba was incomplete without a walk into the forest at the far end of the Shamba. It was a small patch, about an acre, but densely populated with many indigenous trees. There were several Mutumayu Olea africana trees. These are hardwoods that are prized for furniture. But there was a local ban on cutting down such trees. Firewood from these trees had a characteristic pleasant smell. Fire from the wood could burn almost endlessly. We had also learned from Mina, our neighbor, that leaves of the tree were used for medicinal purposes. The majority of trees in the small forest were cedar, Juniperus procara trees. The wood from cedar trees is unique. It is not affected by muthua, ants, and is excellent for fence posts and timber.